brothers from the GMS Cleveland branch. Before we get started, we'll give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahashem,
Bahashem,
Yahweh
Yahushai,
Shai,
Bahashem,
Bahashem, Kakadash.
Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect that preaches truth sincerely across the four corners of the earth. The name of this video is Salvation Isn't Given Unto Thee, or Salvation is Not Given Unto Thee, man. We just go get straight to the scriptures, man, because, you know, when this day the Lord comes, the Lord's going to deliver his elect and destroy the wickedness of his people, 2/3, and he will destroy you heathens that's going to be over here in America and different parts of the earth, but it's still going to be a lot of people still on the earth. And for the rest of you heathens, what's going to happen unto you, man? Are you going to receive salvation? No, man. Your ass going right into captivity, man. You going right into slavery, man. Before the brother grab that, I'm gonna grab this. This is Jeremiah 16:16. It say, Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them. And afterwards will I send for many hunters. Right? Them fishers is the prophets fishing the elect, gathering the elect. And the elect's being gathered for what purpose? To receive salvation. They're getting that mark of exemption upon them so they can receive salvation when the Lord comes back. Because the day of the Lord is going to be a great and terrible day,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to destroy many.
Mm-hmm.
But the elect is going to be from that. And
Right.
afterwards, what's going to happen? They go turn into hunters, man. We get them spiritual bodies,
Mm-hmm.
reign with Yahweh Shai. Part of reigning is what? Taking over, conquering, man.
Mm-hmm.
It say, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill out of the holes of the rocks. Try to go hunt who? These heathens, man, because they going to be high, you banker families and Rothschilds and elites and all you remaining heathens that's going to be on the earth. You're going to be trying to hide and, but no, that's when, hey, it's talking about how the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom by putting your ass into captivity, man. Salvation is for the nation of Israel. You know, and it's for and the lot of you heathens is gonna be what to build our kingdom up in hardcore slavery. Got that?
Yep. Because I was thinking about you said they should hide themselves. They talked about that in Revelation 6 and 16. Just add to your point. But you wanted Jeremiah 30 and 16.
Yeah.
Yep. It's Jeremiah 30 and 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured,
Uh huh.
and all thy adversaries, every one of them, shall go into
Right. It
captivity.
said every one of them shall go into captivity, man. All
Mm-hmm.
your enemies, all that devour thee, you
Mm-hmm.
know, that it said they all shall go into captivity, man.
Mm-hmm.
Not some of them, not the ones who brought the worst, not the ones who ain't do nothing but their cousin did. No, all you motherfuckers, man. Because when the Lord brings judgment, He judged the nation as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So it don't matter if you know it was a fucking Edomite that ain't touch a Jake, man. His ass still an Edomite. And his ass still going to captivity, man. Because
And
the Lord said every one of them. If you're not of a nation, if you're not from the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, then you're an enemy, man.
mm-hmm.
You're an enemy against the Most High. So it said that all y'all asses is going into captivity, man. Period, point
Mm-hmm.
blank.
That's right. Yep. And it says, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all they that prey upon thee will I give for a prey.
Right, so you're gonna become a spoiler. You made us spoil. You sold a boy for a harlot, a girl for wine. Make casting lots upon us and making us gifts to other heathens.
Mm-hmm.
So the same shit gonna be done to your ass, man.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna be a prey. You made us a prey. You gonna end up being a prey, man. It's scripture say the Most High is now mocked whatsoever the man
reaping.
sows, so you shall reap,
Yep, that's
man.
what's up.
So you gotta pay your act. You gotta pay for everything you did. Everything you said, you have to pay for that, man. It's gonna come back to you, man.
And that's the whole reason of why we got to be saved. Because, going back, thinking about Luke, the first chapter, we're talking about how the Lord's going to save us from out the hands of our enemies, man. They've been over here, oppressing Jake, man. And this is all part of, the promises that's the Lord's going to give us, man. That, these adversaries of ours, who, like the brother quoted that, was that Obadiah or is that Joel where he giving a boy for a harlot?
Yeah, so well,
Joel, yeah, man. These devils, they put us on auction blocks. All right, they separated us from our wives, took our children, used the babies for gator bait, used us as target practice, used dogs to, chase us down and, eat us up. This man, knocked out teeth. I mean, the receipt is long for Esau, Edom, and you other nations too, man. You had a hand in our sufferings too, man. You still are.
and this is why Brad is mad. That's another series right there. This is why Brad is mad. Because he know that it's coming. He actually can feel this judgment coming. He got what's coming for him, man.
Mhm.
It's like a nigga. He been doing all this fucking wild shit. But he just feel it. He know he about to fall. He know he about
Mhm.
to lose. He know he about to get his get back coming to his ass, man.
Mhm.
Right as quick as before he know it, man.
Mhm. That's why I say a dreadful sound is in the ear. Every time you hear that, he's an Edomite, Lord hates him and he's going to destroy him. That's dreadful to a hearer that's not of an Israelite. That's not an Israelite. That's scary, man. But hey, man, it is of the Lord's goings, man. Hey, call law, y'all by some shot, man. You know, we ain't no Edomites,
Right.
or no stinking ass heathen. You want to keep reading on that?
No, we get Psalms 149.
Kind.
So yeah, this is what's coming, man. Salvation is not given unto thee, man. If you're not for the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you will not receive salvation. You're gonna receive hardcore slavery. And if you were Edomite, your ass will get destroyed after that.
Mhm.
There ain't gonna be no more Edomite except the hardcore slavery, man.
Mm.
You know?
Mhm.
Psalms 41, 49, verse 5.
All right.
I mean verse 6.
All right. This Psalms 149 verse 6. It says, "Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand."
And who is it talking about? The nation of Israel. Because that's who the Lord is going to choose to rule over the earth. So they going to give praises in the name of the Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. They're going to have a two-edged sword in their hand.
Mhm.
To do what? To save people with it.
To look good with it, the shine is y'all. It's
To
gonna
kill
tell you.
each other,
Uh huh.
brag on what we go brag on what she could cause black on black crime with the kingdom, man.
Mm.
No, it's gonna be a lot of brag on brag crime, man,
Mhm.
at a high time rate. You look at places like Chicago, Cleveland like that, with top city of killing each other in the country and shit. That's how it's gonna be in the kingdom with Brad, man.
Mhm.
Y'all niggas gonna be killing each other in y'all pits. It's gonna be
Mhm.
a high time crime rate of Brad killing each other, man.
Mhm.
Because the curses gonna be on you. The curses ain't
That's
gonna be
right.
on us no more, man. You gonna have to feel the curses.
Mhm. The Lord said, "What thou hast done to thee, it shall also be
That's how
done
you
unto
know
thee."
salvation not gonna be to them, because they gonna be under the curses. We getting
Mhm.
saved from all of that.
Right. Right. You know what I'm saying? You gonna have an evil eye towards your own people, man. All the other nations, they gonna hate your ass too. They gonna be wanting to do something to you, Brad. Man, that's a phew. That's why who
And
said?
they gonna have the curses on them too. It's gonna be evil eye. Israel gonna be
Oh yeah,
an
right.
Israel
Curses gonna
crowd.
be everywhere.
It's gonna be on all y'all niggas, man.
Uh huh. Damn.
We
It's
gonna be watching Menaces to Society on Brad. His ass gonna be Kane,
Mhm.
you know. And as soon as you go off, that's when we gonna come and judge your ass, man. You know, every time, man. We gonna be the top police on your ass, man.
Mhm.
We gonna be going to y'all neighborhoods, harassing y'all and shit, man.
Mhm. Same
On the
thing.
chariots.
Mhm. Right. Yeah, that's beautiful, man. You know, the Lord is a righteous power, man. You know, He said, we gonna do this until you double, man. You know,
Uh-huh.
so whatever you done, we gonna do it twice as more. Like, and your shit
Oh
was
yeah.
gruesome. It was crazy what you was doing to Jake. But you know, now
Uh-huh.
it's our turn. We the people that's like to show out and do certain things that you hate. You really gonna hate this. Shit. Verse 6.
Verse 7.
Verse 7, Psalms 149, verse 7. To execute vengeance upon the heathen.
Ooh, vengeance. Payback.
Uh-huh.
Repay. So the Lord said we gonna execute vengeance. Hold on. That's wicked. No, no, that's wicked. You
What book
know?
is that?
He said we gonna execute vengeance upon the heathen for what?
mm,
The stuff they did.
mm.
You know, and that's a priesthood that it's a righteous thing to get
Recompense.
recompense of that trouble thee, man.
Mm-hmm.
So how is the Lord gonna give you salvation then if you gotta pay for the vengeance?
Mm. It says,
Yahweh Shah
mm-hmm.
said what? The day of vengeance is in my heart.
Uh-huh.
This is something that he's meditating on, man.
Mm-hmm. And brothers in like-minded.
Shall not the Lord avenge his elect?
Mm-hmm. Right. All my battle axes and weapons of war, like the brother said in the last video. The Lord gonna use us as a whooping stick, just like Brad was a whooping stick to us. We gonna be a hellified whooping stick to y'all heathens, man. We gonna fuck y'all up, man. Ain't gonna be no mercy. Was it mercy for us? When Jake was out there trying to, hustle and bustle and try to, get it one little, piece of whatever we could get, man. But you made it hard for us, man. And then Esau, he messed up our women and our children. So guess what, man? Your children gonna be, in their right mind when we take them and put them in the field. You know, you gonna be upset. But hey, that's a blessing for us, man. To have slaves. That's gonna bring riches, and you gonna bow down too. Verse 7, it says to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishment upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron.
So all these motherfuckers that they look up to, oh, he's so great and honorable. Well, guess what? His
Mhm.
ass going to captivity, man. All these fucking brats, they look
Mhm.
up, they cherish Alexander the Great and
Mhm.
all these niggas, man.
Donald Trump.
Prince Charles the Fifth and all this shit, man. Y'all think it's
Mhm.
going into captivity, man.
Mm.
David Rothschild, all y'all niggas, man. Y'all going into hardcore slavery, man.
Shackles.
Cause the Lord, He said, chains.
Uh-huh.
You gonna have them chains. You gonna be the chains be making your arms bleed and shit.
mm.
You
You know.
know,
Right.
you going on some rusty ass chains, man.
Mhm. Right, they gonna be thick. They gonna be heavy. You gonna be like how the police put it on Jake, and Jake be trying to get out them. Like, can you give me some rest? No, ain't gonna be no rest. Them bitches gonna be extra heavy when I put them on your ass. You know, and Lord willing, I had a spirit to shock your ass. You bucking up. You try to do some crazy shit. You know how they got like those invisible dog collars and shit. Yeah, it's gonna be like that. But we gonna see your chains. They gonna shock your ass. Get out of pocket if you won't. It says, and that's a righteous mindset to have too. The Lord said He's gonna meditate terror on these heathens. So whatever Jake ideas, double unto you. It says to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. It says to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the
This
Lord.
honor have all His saints. So this gonna be an honor that the saints is gonna have. You know,
Mm-hmm.
to execute the vengeance, the judgment. that's written in the scriptures. It's written that this is what we gonna do.
Mm.
We just following the script, man.
That's it.
Just like Brad followed the script, you know, the Lord gonna have us follow the script. Because this is the Lord's movie. This is how He wanted to go. I got something to close out with. This Revelation 17:9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Mm.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. This is the New Testament.
Mm.
So the last days book, the Revelation. He said this is gonna happen. Who put us in captivity, man? Who killed the sword, man? It gotta be done back to you, man. You know, even in science they teach you that whatever energy you put out there is gonna come back, man. This the energy you put out there, man. So you gotta receive it back. And this is the part. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. So this is what the saints is waiting for. This is what they're hoping and having patience and faith in. This is a part of the gospel. To put your ass in the captivity, man.
Man, can't wait, man.
You know, this is what's real. This is what the Lord said. He got promised. He said they shall rule over the nations with a rod of iron.
I got
man.
that.
You know?
I got that. Baba Kashad. This Revelation 2:25. It read, but that which ye have already hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. All right, you can read about this here also in Psalms, the 2nd chapter, where Yahweh Shah was giving these blessings. All right, but also we gonna be like joint heirs with Yahweh Shah. All right, all we gotta do is endure to the end and hold fast, which we have already, believing. You know these things that that we meditating on. These claims. Brad, get ready for your wife to be. And the brother's doorman. You know, my doorman or whatever. It's gonna happen. Your little Ambers. She gonna have to come on
Little
over to
Kylie.
me. Little Kylie, little Riley's. Hey, Ishmael, go. No, matter of fact, I'm gonna walk over there, man, and I'm just gonna come get her. And you gotta bear that, man. Just like we had to suffer that shit, man.
No, they said they gonna come bring their daughters to us.
Oh, see, hey, but it's gonna be hard for you to do that, man. But it's gonna be easy for us. You know, it says, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers. And even as I received of my father, I will give him the morning star. So yeah, man, as the Lord, Yahweh Shah received of his father, all right, hey, in like manner, man, we're gonna have a rod of iron, waiting to beat you down, man, to the ground, man, you know. So if you get out of pocket, you want to cry for your little sweet and white, Moab, you want to get out of pocket, hey, man, the rod of iron is going to be right there to beat you to pieces, man. We ain't got time to negotiate.
And we gonna have them tell on you too.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, he was crying if I came over here. Oh, he was. Cause that's what you did. You had Keisha, tell on us and shit. Yeah, he hit me, and
Right.
child support, all this goofy ass shit, man. Putting niggas in jail. Yeah, we gonna have Sweet and White. She gonna set your ass up. We gonna have to get. She gonna be lying and shit. Gonna get your ass hugged on trees for doing weird shit, man.
Man.
We gonna. The tables will turn real soon, man. And it's good to say what greater is the end of a thing in the beginning, man. And this is your end. This is your downfall, your destruction, man.
Man.
It's gonna be way greater than what you did to us, man.
He can't even fathom this. That's why Cain said, man, this punishment is worse than I can bear, man. This is gonna be some heavy, heavy time for Brad, man. Seeing his whole household get separated, him in a cornfield, wherever he gonna be at. He could never imagine that, bro.
Like I said, these devils, they starting to feel it now, man. They feel the change, the losing, the power, that white pride. That shit is getting torn down now, man. You know, so how much more when this fully manifest?
And really, man, Brad is bowing down now, man. You know, yeah, they ready to, be in position of servitude, and I'm glad you like that. Yeah, you in your right mind,
You
man.
know, how about my brother said he was somewhere and Brad was like, "Just take it all, fuck it, just take it
He
all."
felt it. It's
You
his
know.
spirit telling him the truth, man. You know. A brother said that too, where we gonna go, Brad gonna utter things out the Lord gonna make him say it, man.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? That's the power that we dealing with, man. The Lord said that Ecclesiastes, where a word of a king is, there's power. And where's the word of a king at, man? Through the prophets, man. You know?
So yeah, Lord Wonders was edifying with that. We'll close out with all praise and glory to
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahashem,
Bahashem,
Yahweh
Yahweh
Shai,
Shai,
Bahashem,
Bahashem,
Rakakadash.
Rakadash. The honor to the Apostle Elders Great Millstone who well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom and Kwame Yasharala.
Shalom, Kwame Sharala.